Next, we'll start with the compound epithelium. So it is composed of multi-layered cell. Okay, so here cells are multi-layered. That's why it's a compound and the complex. Now, limited role in secretion and absorption. So they don't have that much role in the secretion and absorption, but yes, some compound epithelium they perform. They cover the dry surface of the skin, moist surface of the buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of the ducts of salivary gland, and pancreatic ducts. So that you have to remember. Then functions are protection against chemical and mechanical stress. So what is their function now? So their function is to protection against chemical and mechanical stress. So we'll see means they will generally manage some chemical, for example, some hormones you can say, or some other chemicals you can say, which is related to the body, and some mechanical stress also. So here cell junction. So what is the cell junction? So the junction that provides structural and functional link between adjacent cells. There are three types. So if you see the structural and functional cells, so both cells may they will placed adjacent. So in that case, what are the links? So here tight junction, adhering junction, and gap junction. So we can see all these things. So here when it's a blue in color, it's made up of actin, then it's a tight junction. Here you can see this green part, it's a gap junction between the two cells. And if it is an intermediate filaments, then it's a desmosomes. And if there is a starting one and at the part of the apex, then it's a adherence junctions. Okay, so there are three types of junction. So tight junction, they help to stop substances from leaking across the tissue. That's why they generally tight. Then adhering junction perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. They act as a cementing and to fill the gap. And the gap junction facilitate the cell to communicate with each other by connecting cytoplasm. So it generally connects the cytoplasm. Here you can see this cytoplasm is nothing but the cell fluid which is present inside the cell. So gap junction provide the channel for communication. It generally transfers some ions, small molecule and big molecules. Now we'll see the connective tissue. So connective tissues, it links and supports other tissue organs. Okay. So elastin fiber is there, fibroblasts are there, and collagen fibers are there. So they are most abundant in complex animals. All connective tissue except blood have fibroblast cells. Okay. All the connective tissue have the fibroblast, this rounded structure you can say, but blood cells they don't have. They secrete a fibrous proteins called collagen and elastin. So inside the blood cells, they don't have collagen and elastin. They give a strength, elasticity and flexibility to the tissues. Now the cell also secrete modified polysaccharide matrix which accumulate between cells and fibers. So they also form some organic compound like polysaccharide matrix. Then connective tissues. So there are three types: loose, dense and specialized. So loose will divide into the areolar and adipose. Then dense will divide into the dense regular, dense irregular, and specialized will divide into the cartilage, bone and blood. So when we see the loose connective tissue in this cell, fibroblasts, macrophages, mast cell, etc. are formed. So this macrophages and mast cell, these are the part of immune system also. And fibers are loosely arranged in a semi-fluid matrix. So these are two types, areolar and adipose. So you can see this areolar and this adipose structure. So what is the difference we can see? In case of areolar, present beneath the skin. So it is present in beneath the skin and it serves as support framework for epithelium. It also acts as a support framework and it is kindly network like structure. So you can see macrophages, areolar tissue contain macrophages. This is the site of growth and divide of the HIV virus also. This is the fibroblast, this is the collagen fibers. So all this contain mast cells are there which generally kills the virus and the bacteria. So all this contains, all these things are present inside the areolar tissue. Then adipose tissue, it will have some white adipose cells. They generally stores the fat and together with that they have a nucleus. So when there is a lots of fat storage, the shape of the adipose tissue changes. So it is generally beneath the skin. Cells adipocyte stores the fat. So it is generally responsible for the obesity. Excess nutrients are converted into fats and stored in this tissue. Now dense connective tissue. So this fibers and fibroblasts are completely packed. So when these fibers and fibroblasts they are packed densely, so that is why they are dense. So they are regular and irregular. We'll see one by one. So when it's a regular, they show a regular pattern of fibers. Okay, so here you can see there is a regular pattern like a wave like a pattern. Collagen fibers are present in rows between many parallel bundles. So here you can see this purple one. These are nothing but the collagen. You can see this black line one. These are nothing but the collagen fibers. Example, tendons and ligaments. So at the tendons and ligaments, this is present. Then you can see this is the tendon and this is the ligament. So when it is in tendon, it attaches the skeletal muscles to the bone. So that is why they are dense and compact, and ligaments attach the bone to another. So you can see this is the tendons attach skeletal muscle to the bone, and when it's a ligament, it attach the bone to another. Okay, so you can see here biceps, so they are attached with these tendons. Now, dense irregular. So, irregular pattern of fibroblasts and fibers, mostly collagen. So, here you can see these fibroblasts are present, purple color, and these are collagen fibers. So, they don't have a regular wave-like pattern, but they have a irregular pattern and present inside the skin. Then the third is specialized connective tissue. So, here cartilage is present in this intracellular matrix is solid and pliable due to the chondroitin and resist compression. So, they are intercellular material, they are present inside the obviously cell, and together with that they resist the compression. Okay, they cannot bear the compression. Cartilage cells are enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. So they are enclosed in small cavity. You can see here the cartilage. We are discussing about the cartilage scale which forms the cartilage, and it also known as chondrocytes. Cartilage cells are also known as chondrocytes. You can see here these are cartilage cells which is present inside the cartilage of the bones. Most of the cartilage in vertebrates embryos are replaced by bones in adults. Okay, so this cartilage when develops and maturity takes place in vertebrates, then they replaced by bones. Cartilage is present in the tip of the nose, outer ear, joints in the vertebral column, limbs and hands in the adults. So these are the place for the cartilage. Then the bones. It has a hard and non-pliable matrix rich in calcium, okay, salts and collagen fibers which give bone its strength. Bone cells, osteocytes, are seen in spaces called leucine. This leucina is very important with respect to exam. So this bone cells means osteocytes, and when it's a cartilage cell, they are chondrocytes. So please be remember that chondrocytes and osteocytes are seen in spaces called leucina. Compact bone tissues are present. So this is the bone cells. Okay, you can see here the bone cells. Then bone, what are the function? It provides structural frame to the body, means the exoskeleton and endoskeleton, but generally it's an endoskeleton. Support and protect softer tissues and organs. Limb bones are serve weight bearing functions, take part in locomotion and movement, and blood cells are produced in bone marrow. So as you can know that this bone marrow, it is present all over the body, and here blood cells are produced. Now, specialized connective tissue, the last one is the blood. A fluid connective tissue containing plasma, red blood cells. It is also known as tissue because contains the blood cells, and whatever the contains the cell, they are known as tissue. So it contains RBC, red blood cell, white blood cells. They are also a member of immunosystem. Helps in the circulation of various substances. Now we'll discuss a muscle tissue.